Astros leading 2-0 as we recognize Childhood Cancer Awareness Month at Minute Maid Park. We welcome in Dr. Ricky Flores, president of the Carlos Correa Foundation, also the clinical director of pediatric oncology, hematology at Texas Children's Hospital. Dr. Ricky Flores, thanks for joining us, and tell us a little bit about the Carlos Correa Foundation. Some people might not know much about it.
Thank you for having us here. So a few years ago, Carlos approached us because he wanted to do more for the children with cancer. And Carlos and his parents and Daniela Correa and her parents have been working with us continuously, helping kids, visiting kids at the hospital, raising funds. And also, we've had many happy moments, but a lot of tears. Also, they have been with different patients when at funerals and when we have to accept that they lost their battle against cancer. But at the same time, they have been honoring some of our patients and helping us through fundraisers. And we've been able to do amazing things for the kids. And many of these kids actually consider them family. So that's beautiful. And it has been a privilege to witness that.
We've got a list of the kids that you guys are helping out. Can you tell us a little bit or pick one out and tell us what a great story and how the Carlos Correa Foundation has helped out?
Definitely. Like we have, for example, Emma Landes. Emma is a 15-year-old ovarian cancer survivor, and Emma is amazing. It's an amazing story because she was the first patient that we had that actually asked to ring her end of therapy bell at Minute Maid. So that made us realize how important the Astros organization is for these kids, that she wanted to celebrate the most important day of her life at Minute Maid, and we were able to do that. And like you mentioned earlier too, exactly 1 year ago, Carlos wore these gold cleats customized by many of the cancer patients. They wrote beautiful messages, and it definitely energized him because he hit back-to-back home runs that day.
There we see the gold cleats that Correa wore that game. 10 patients signed them and sent messages. I love the message that Jake McRae sent. He was an amazing baseball player diagnosed with leukemia. He wrote on there, "See you in the big leagues."
I like it.
That's a confident young man. What can you tell us about Jake?
Oh, Jake is great. Jake just finished his therapy. Also, he's back. He's playing catcher position already. He's a straight A student. He wants to become a certified nurse with anesthesia. Very charismatic, and like many of our patients, very energized every time that he meets Carlos.
These kids are fighting, a tremendous illness early in their lives. Talk about a little bit about the courage that you see in each and every one of these kids.
It's incredible, and so many people ask us how we can do this day to day, and honestly, we wouldn't be able to do anything else. And just visiting them, seeing their courage, seeing their happiness, seeing their positive attitude despite going through so much, it's what actually keeps us going. And I think Carlos and Daniela actually summarized perfectly when they visited the first children for the first time, and they said, we visited children fighting cancer thinking that we were going to change their lives, but at the end, in reality, the children ended up changing our lives forever. That's why they have continued doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and even through very, very hard times, they've been growing with the families and the patients, and I think that many of them consider them family.
Joey Gallo walks to start the top half of the fourth inning. We are talking with Dr. Ricky Flores, who is the president of the Carlos Correa Foundation, as well as the clinical director over at Texas Children's Hospital for pediatric oncology and hematology. Dr. Flores, we've mentioned a couple of these kids, and I'm glad you mentioned the time that Carlos and Daniela put in, because it's something that touches you deep in your heart, and they have really been maybe under the radar a little bit. I'm not sure how many people realize the Heroes of the Month in the Correa Foundation. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have been bringing and selecting a Hero of the Month for a while now, and we bring them to the game with the help of the Astros Foundation and Twyla Carter, who is amazing, their director. And we bring them to body practice. They always meet the players, and the players always come, like Jose Altuve, Tony Kemp used to come all the time. And Lance McCuller, many of the players always know that we're bringing them, and they have a blast. Sometimes they go to the Diamond Club, and they have a lot of food. They have a lot of presents. Orbitz always comes and visit them, and so it's something that at the end of the day, and I can see them month after month, and they always tell me that was the happiest day of their lives. So we can see how it. Just like giving them a few minutes with the players can affect their life forever.
We're looking at Ethan Hughes, who's won a motocross race, huh? He was
wow.
He's a kid. Go ahead.
Ethan is great. He was diagnosed with leukemia. He is done with the more intensive part of the of his therapy, and but he's back riding motorbikes, and he just won his first motocross race. He's a magician. He comes to the field and do magic tricks for the players, and everyone loves him.
We need to have him around the ballpark a little bit more often. From the sounds of it, we can really learn something from what he's been through and what he can do. But when we see a lot of these pictures and you interact with these kids, they're obviously the priority. But talk a little bit about how you guys are impacting the families also who are going through this together with the kid.
Well, we're raising funds other than visiting them frequently, and Carlos and Daniela come very, very frequent to the hospital. And other than that, I'm the hero of the month. We raise funds to be able to help children, especially childhood cancer patients who are underserved. Many of them don't even have money for transportation, food, or pay the rent. So Carlos and Daniela help us raise funds to help cover some of those expenses. And right now, for example, we have a campaign in honor of Cameron Gush. You know, Cameron Gush, our amazing soul and honorary player number 17, our angel, who we lost to cancer, but he continued to inspire so many. And we have a fundraising campaign with Fabergé, who's designing 17 limited edition eggs with a butterfly inside to honor Cameron. And profits of those sales and any other sales that Fabergé does will go to children with cancer, and especially the underserved families.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Cameron Gooch. He was a special young man, and still remembered here fondly at Minute Maid Park and by all the Astros family. Will Harris wore the clutch Cam jersey on
remember that vividly.
Players Weekend. How about the lady we just saw, Jessica Carrillo? She is quite a special lady.
Yeah, Jessica is one of my favorite people on earth. She was diagnosed over 6 years ago, actually, when she was 14. Now she's 20. She just turned 20 with a bone cancer. So she had a surgery to replace her femur with a prosthetic bone. And that didn't stop her. She continued going on. She had a lot of complications, but she was able to complete her surgery, complete chemotherapy for a year. And now she just recently celebrated her 20th birthday. And she's actually now studying to become a nurse to help cancer patients. And also on the side, she also works helping elderly at some homes also. So she's incredible. She's an amazing soul, because whenever I meet her, she's so positive. She reminds us all that no matter what you're going through, you should keep a positive attitude.
Well, we're all fired up hearing these great stories about what you guys are doing with this foundation. How do we get a hold of an opportunity to maybe donate to the Carlos Correa Foundation?
Visit us at CorreaFamilyFoundation.org. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Also, you can follow Texas Children's Cancer Center. We continue doing a lot of stuff with different foundations, and the Astros Foundation, because the Astros Foundation doesn't only support big foundations, but also smaller ones. They support Periwinkle, Sunshine Kids, Big Love, many others. So, but feel free to visit any of us, and we'll make it happen. These kids deserve it. And I want to highlight something that many people don't know, is that cancer kills more kids than any of the other diseases combined. So we really need the help of the community on this.
Thank you so much for everything you do. There's 2 out, so I'm taking a chance here. But if we have one more kid that if we don't get to here, we can get to later in the broadcast. But Rogelio Medina.
Rogelio Medina, 13-year-old. He has a tumor in his mandible. He's a beautiful soul also, and his mom wanted me to highlight that he has been dealing with a lot of bullying at home and at school, but the only thing that kept him going forward and forget about all of that was the support from the athletes, from Carlos, from Jose Altuve, from all of these players, because now he felt empowered. You have him there with Tony Camp. And she told me that we've made a difference in his life, especially the players. And he had a blast at the Diamond Club. He just couldn't stop eating, so we know that he had a blast. A lot of people let him do whatever he wanted to do that night.
Yeah, my favorite thing about his bio was when he went to the Diamond Club, he ate a lot of desserts. And if I was his age, I would do the exact same
Absolutely.
thing. Hey, Dr. Ricky Flores, thank you so much for the time and for everything you do. We can't thank you enough. It's an amazing effort that you and Carlos and Daniela have put forth.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to being present there, physically there with you sometime in the future. But thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Dr. Ricky Flores. Framber Valdez leading 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.